We are back. Welcome back to the Trainwell podcast, where we inspire you to move more, to get stronger, and have fun. Darian and I have spent the last almost 30 minutes talking about this topic we're going to present to you. And we're going to go back and forth. Darian is a huge advocate for this issue. And I want her to explain that and address the problem to the podcast, to our dear listeners. Darian, what you got?
Yeah, thank you, Joey. Because here's the thing is like when I first presented this issue to you, you weren't fully on board and this could get heated. And you know what? I'm down. I'm down to argue with you today if needed. Here's the problem. The fitness industry is contributing to negative body image. And you would think that being the fitness industry, we would be much more body positive because we care about our health and our well being. But historically, and I would say this is outside of the fitness industry as well, this is across so many industries, of course. But because we're the Trainwell podcast, we're going to primarily focus on the fitness industry's contribution to this diet culture problem, which is like making people feel bad about themselves and therefore feeling so bad about themselves that they have to buy whatever XYZ product that's out there. So we want to point out the problem, help people notice where it's happening, and then steer you towards what can you do about it? Not just internally, like about body image, but how can you find trainers, gyms, whatever it may be, that are going to not discriminate against you for your body size, that are not going to try to push weight loss on you, that are not going to make assumptions about you based on your body size, but that are going to support you as a whole person and listen to you and trust what you're saying about your own body.
So the big problem is the fitness industry. I want to understand this. The fitness industry is causing a problem with this body image because that these six-pack abs, the physiques you see from social media, the programs, all the challenges that make all these false claims and promises are causing this sort of misconstrued view of what is healthy and what is attainable. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's right. Thank you for consolidating what I'm trying to say. I'm so passionate about this issue. Like you're probably going to need to reel me in, but uh, I think it's across the fitness industry, and I think a place we could start is before and after photos. So at face value, I mean, before and after photos are everywhere. People are so used to seeing before and after photos. I think we're moving slightly away from them. Yay. I think more people are catching on to why before and after photos are so predatory. But I think a lot of people, there is this desperation to change the way they look, to get smaller. And that is because of living in our culture where we have always placed small bodies on a pedestal as the most privileged bodies. Like the bodies you see in media, the bodies you see on TV, movies, magazines, billboards, typically are not just small bodies, but perfect, what we're like, these perfect unattainable bodies where the women and the men, they look like dolls. We had talked before we turned the mics on here about Barbie, and that is what we're seeing in media, like this very unattainable look. And it makes people start to think that they should be looking like that because they're seeing these bodies that don't look like their bodies, and these bodies are successful, loved, appreciated, and wealthy, and all the things we all want to be. So when we're seeing a before and after photo, we're seeing one snapshot into someone's life, and typically this before and after photo is paired with copy that says something along the lines of like, in 12 weeks, my client got, lost 100 pounds and put on blank amount of muscle, and they're feeling amazing and they're feeling great. And, if you want to be like Joe Schmo, whoever, um, sign up right now. We only have 3 spots left. And because and I can resonate so much and like deeply feel for people who have this desperation to like to want to look better and feel better and be more confident, they are buying into this imagery. But the problem is we don't know anything about this person on this ad. We're seeing before where they look quote unquote not good, because as a culture we've decided that bigger bodies are bad, which we could dive in, like who said bigger bodies are bad? Why is that not attractive? Because we've brainwashed ourselves into believing so. And then we're seeing the after photo. Look at him, her. Look, you can see their muscles, they're shredded, they're so happy now. But we don't know how they got there. We don't know what happened after that photo was taken. We don't know what happened during that photo being taken, the posing, the lighting, the angles, some AI in the mix, editing in the mix. We don't know any of that. We're just getting this snapshot. And we're being told it's the truth and the reality.
Yeah, I think the person listening, right, our audience, needs to understand that this picture, this billboard, this ad is just a marketing tool. Don't fall prey to the marketing because it is such a sneaky way. Just like a when you're really hungry and you look on the Domino's pizza commercial or the Big Mac, they just look so amazing. And you actually go to the McDonald's or you go to the Wendy's, whatever, and you look at your hamburger and you're like, ugh, that looks nothing like what I saw. Because it's fake, right? It's promised to sell. And that marketing is very, very powerful, but that's been going on since like whenever fitness got really big in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, And so please do not fall predatory. Do not fall victim
Pray.
to that billboard, that promise, that vision. And bigger bodies, this is what frustrates me so much about the fitness area is you really have 2 avenues in fitness. You have the strength and conditioning way and the athlete way, right? And then you have the personal training, the aesthetics way, the general pop, right? And in strength and conditioning, 48% of is even especially girls. I saw this statistic: 48% of girls drop out from sports due to body image pressures. Can you believe that? In today's world, 48%.
I
But
can believe it.
in real life, like if you go to powerlifting meet, men and women are huge and they're like worship and idolized because they can lift all these loads, right? Even in track and field, yeah, they may be skinnier, whatnot, but you have like a super skinny person who runs really, really fast. That person is worship, but look at the shot putter. Massive, huge, strong, right? They're worshipped. When you go into the aesthetic training world, it's totally different. The smaller, the better. That is the huge, huge issue. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when people, even still today, even when we're getting, like, thank goodness, like more and more focused and steered towards functional fitness, practical fitness, sustainability, you know, working out to feel better internally and be stronger and be more capable, even though there's more and more of that. When people think of the fitness industry, they still think about, I believe, aesthetic goals, bodybuilders, meatheads, like figure competitors, people who are dieting and cutting and trying to look a very certain way. And I do think a lot of people come to the industry for that reason, because a lot of people want to lose weight. I think that there is nothing wrong with a desire to lose weight. It's understandable that somebody would come to the fitness industry with a desire to lose weight because of all the things I just said, because we've been fed these images. But that desire to lose the weight is what we are all in the fitness industry, not Trainwell, but I think Trainwell is doing a really good job of trying not to do this, is is we're going, oh, somebody is desperate to lose weight. So many people. So we're going to tell them you'll lose 15 pounds in 3 months if you join this program. There's so much, and then people will justify it by saying like, well, that'll just get them in the door, and then we'll change their minds to like, oh, it's not really about the look and the fitness. But it's like, why are we lying to people to bring them in? Because the truth is, working out is not actually an effective weight loss strategy. There is so much research that supports that just simply working out is not an effective weight loss strategy. If you're brand new to fitness and working out, initially you may lose some weight, but pretty quickly that weight loss drops off. So why then do we do fitness? And why then are people still making promises that if you do XYZ program, you're going to get shredded and ripped and look a certain way?
It's because it sells. It still sells. That's the big thing. It's like, I wish people would change the lose weight to lose fat.
But even that, I think, is like we're demonizing somebody having fat on their body.
It's all how you interpret it, right? It's so how you interpret it. Like you can continue to fall prey to all these marketing and comparison things, right? But at the end of the day, you have to come to terms with yourself to be like, am I going to be obsessively comparing? Am I going to be constantly chasing this dream that isn't going to really be healthy, or I'm not even going to be happy in the end? That is inner psychological work, right? Without sending any pressure. But what I was continuing to say, Darian,
Yes.
is simply by changing the weight scale to the fat scale, okay, losing fat, we know for sure that having less fat on your body, you will be more healthier. You will. Like you will have more muscle mass, which internally shows, right, more calories burned, more functional things you can do, more. Like that is, I wish that the programs out there would say, stop focusing on the scale weight, start focusing on how much muscle you have. Muscle is the key to longevity and health. Would you agree?
I do believe that having more muscle is health promoting. Whether or not someone loses fat, to me, I still don't want to focus on that, because I think there are so many other things that we can focus on that will pull people in, that are true and positive and uplifting to people, that aren't making people feel bad about themselves. We're saying like, lose the fat, lose the weight. It's negative, negative, negative. Why not like go like, let's gain muscle, let's gain confidence, let's be more capable, let's feel better, happier, more energetic. And yet we're still resorting to like making people feel bad about themselves to do something good for themselves. It seems so backwards to me. And I really want this to be the day, everyone listening, fitness industry people, that you change your marketing to be pro people. No matter what size, shape, whatever they come to you in, we're meeting them where they're at. We're not making assumptions about what they want. This drives me insane when someone in a bigger body goes into a gym or meets with a trainer and the trainer automatically assumes that that client wants to lose weight and change the way they look. Why are we making that assumption? Because we've demonized bigger bodies.
And the doctor, when you go to a doctor and you're overweight, you're plus size, right? And Darren, we should make a claim too. Be fully transparent. You and I have
Yeah.
very good genetics, right?
Yeah,
So the
that's
person
some
listening,
yeah.
we must go to show that we don't understand. We personally have never felt this pressure ever. So please,
Yeah.
please, please take this with a grain of salt, because we've never been through that struggle before, right? But like I was saying is, when you go to the doctor and you're bigger, the first thing the doctor says is, okay, we need you to lose some weight.
Mhm.
We need
Mhm.
you to lose some fat. We need you to get more active. We need you to do this. So in what you were saying, the doctors even need to think that we should really highlight the muscle. We should highlight the confidence. We should highlight the ability to do things, the activities of daily living, rather than constantly pound the client, the patient, on you need to lose weight, right?
Yeah. 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 Because what you said, there's a genetic component. So that's the other thing is people have been made to believe that they can easily change the size and shape of their body. It's not easy. The reason I look the way I look, like, yes, I have been active and exercising like pretty much my entire life. But I, but my genetics, look at both of my parents. They're very thin. And my dad easily puts on muscle. It, it's genetic. I don't think that I am superior in my body type, and certainly don't attribute it to like, well, I work out every day. Sure. I work out a lot, and I do think that's the reason I have so much muscle and feel so capable and strong. But like, even if I didn't work out, I'd probably still look basically like this because of my genetics. I would probably not be as muscular, but I would be thin. Um, so basically, what I'm saying is one, genetics matter. Two, if you go into your doctor and your doctor looks at you, sees that you're in a bigger body, and automatically, without asking you any questions, doing your blood work, anything, says, we need you to lose some weight, consider a different doctor. Because here's the thing, there is no disease that a person in a bigger body can get that a person in a smaller body cannot get. Person in a smaller body can get diabetes, same as a person in a bigger body. A person in a smaller body can have knee issues, same as a person in a bigger body. So if you go to your doctor and you say, my knee hurts, and you're in a bigger body, and your doctor says, well, we got to lose some weight, that is a doctor not doing their job. Because if I go in there, being in the body I'm in, and I say my knee hurts, they're going to go, okay, tell me more about that. When did this start? What does it feel like? Let's do some imaging. Let's get you some PT. They're going to actually help me. They're not going to just tell me I need to lose some weight. It's so unfair. It really is unfair. And the thing is, you don't know what someone's health status is unless you're doing the blood work. You just don't. You cannot tell by looking at a person.
Darian, this I'm still talking about like thinking about the doctor, but this leads me to a film called The Nutty Professor. You ever seen it with Eddie Murphy?
I think I did for a little
Sherman
bit.
has two different sides. He has the bigger one, and then he has the Eddie Murphy. Both of them are Eddie Murphy, but then he has the smaller. He's constantly overweight. He just wants to. He gets made fun of all this, but then he actually transcends into that smaller body, and he is super unfriendly. He's super unhappy, and at the end of the film, he goes back to his regular Sherman of the bigger Sherman, right? And he lives happily. That's such a. And that movie was like in the '90s, I think. And so even then, like people were trying to shed what
Mhm.
the Darian is preaching here, right? But what would you say about this? Because I'm going to go back to the doctor. And you were talking about your parents, right?
Mhm.
My dad has got a huge belly. My dad has he had a heart attack when he was 48. He needs to lose some fat for sure. Okay, he does, because we know that there is a strong correlation. I want to see what you think about this. Is small, because you're claiming, right, smaller isn't the best thing, right? Like not necessarily losing fat is the best thing, but we know, and any doctor will tell you this, that there is a direct correlation between waistline size and heart health, because typically a bigger waistline, you have more visceral fat around the organs. So that's going to lead to more prevalent heart disease. And that my family history is full of heart disease. So what would you tell that client? Like, should we focus on that? Like, what should we tell that? What is that client's actionable step for that?
Yeah.
Does less fat, is that better?
I think that this is interesting because, right, we know, okay, let's use your dad as an example.
And I should say that, like, I don't even know the statistic, but like 70+% of Americans deal with cardiovascular disease. Like that is the
Yeah.
number one killer.
Yeah. So let's use your dad as an example. That's a perfect example. Imagine your dad. Maybe he's not exactly your dad, but someone like your dad. You've never seen him. You don't know how much he weighs. You don't know what he looks like. And this man comes to you and says, here's my health history, my family history. Here's my current health history, my heart disease, whatever it is. What are the other things you said? He's diabetic or?
Yeah, he's pre-diabetic.
Okay, pre-diabetic. He has history, family history of heart disease and had a heart attack, you said? Yeah.
Correct.
So let's say you don't know his weight, but he told you that. What steps are you taking?
You got to my first thing is, have you met with a doctor? Have you seen your blood
Right.
work?
Let's say he has. Let's say he has and he's coming to you, a personal trainer.
I guarantee you, he's going to say, the doctor wants me to lose weight.
Okay, let's say he doesn't say that. Let's just simply say he's seen a doctor.
See,
He
now
has
you're
all these
trying,
medical
no, no,
issues.
now you're trying to funnel
Well,
things
no,
into
but okay, then fine. Let's say he says my doctor tells me I need to lose weight. Whether he says it or not, whether you know his weight or not, are
Did I
you
say?
not taking nearly the same exact protocol and steps?
Oh
Great.
yeah.
Let's get you moving more. Let's get you more cardio. Let's get you lifting weights. It's the same.
No, no. You know what I tell him? No, no, no. We need to gain muscle, because I hope the listener listens to this. If you remember one thing, remember this: gaining muscle and gaining strength is the new losing fat and weight.
And you would tell that to even a person if they were thin. You would say the same thing, would you not?
100%.
Yes.
100%.
So that's what
200%.
I'm saying. So that's what I think that's why we can easily, and I think should easily, just take the weight loss thing out of the equation, because it doesn't matter. What does matter is what actions are we taking now? And the weight doesn't matter whether you're coming in a bigger body or a smaller body. We're going to start building healthier habits regardless, to help that person who has all those markers. Now, you brought up something earlier that I think is important to address, which is, and I want to say, a lot of people want to lose weight just simply because they feel bad about their bodies. They don't like the way they look and they're not confident. And they think that losing weight will make them happier.
The
And I
example I said, let's give the listener some context. So the example I said was, I picked a grandparent because I recently just lost my grandmother. Rest in peace, Cecilia Bueno. And we were talking about, let's say you have young grandkids, right? And you are bigger and you get out of breath because you can't chase them up the stairs. You want to take them to a baseball game and you can't fit, you're not comfortable in the baseball seat. You just can't enjoy it, right? That person is obviously going to think, man, I need to lose some body size so I can feel confident. I can pick up my kids. They can't even get on off the ground to tie their grandson's shoe, for instance. So that was the example.
Right. Yes, that was the example. And that's a great example. There are a lot of people, and I want to acknowledge that it's real. When you have more mass, it is harder to be mobile. That I heard a term that I really liked, belly abundance. It does make it harder for you to do things like get up and down from the floor because there's mass in the way.
So they need to lose mass.
So
Oh, your mic's muted.
can you hear me again?
Yes.
They don't need, they might, yes, it might help them if they do. But
It might,
again,
or it will.
well, well, we don't know. It could help them if
They're
they do.
coming to you just
But
bawling their eyes
let's
out.
say,
They're saying, I can't do anything. I need to change this, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you tell that person? What's their actual step?
yeah, I'm certainly not going to say, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to lose this weight, because that is an unfair claim of me to make. But what I am going to say is, we're going to start small. We're going to get you building muscle, feeling stronger. We're going to work towards you being able to get down from onto the floor and back up slowly. We're going to take baby steps and we're going to get there. If that's really their goal. Now they might also have a goal. It's like, I just feel really bad and I want to lose this weight. I want to look better. But I'm still taking the same steps. As a trainer, I still can't get them like running on the treadmill. I still need to do my job properly, which is meet them where they're at, start at a place that is manageable and sustainable for them, slowly progress over time in a way that is safe. And regardless of like those things that like that desire for weight loss, I'm still starting in the same place as I would be with any other client. And I would bet that the client who's in the bigger body, whether or not they lose the weight, any person for that matter, whether or not they're achieving the aesthetic goal that they want, if they are getting stronger and they're saying, oh my God, I couldn't bicep curl 10 pounds before and now I am. Oh my gosh, I can actually get down on the floor and stand up. I couldn't do that before and now I can. They are building confidence. They are becoming more capable. They're becoming more independent. They're feeling more happier and energized and successful. It doesn't matter. They may still have that desire to lose weight. They may still not like the way their body looks, but are they starting to feel that progress and feel better about themselves? Yes. And I
You
think
know,
that's the thing we celebrate.
yes, but this is, well, grandparents now, this is sticking with the example, grandparents now have Instagram. Like we're at that age, right? And
You
so,
and me?
oh yeah, yeah,
I
right.
can't wait to be a grandparent.
And so like you see all this success in the gym, they're getting stronger. Like, yes, you're so right, Darren. We do need to celebrate that. But I get so frustrated as a trainer that that client sees you at the gym, whatever, they do their workout. On the way home, they open up their social media or they drive by the billboard or they're checking out the grocery store and they see the magazines and they see that skinnier body and then boom, all that success they just got is now gone. That is the problem. All that hard work, that 5 pounds to 10 pounds, that mile of walking, PR, whatever it is, all that is washed out the window because the marketing scheme is so, so powerful. And getting back to the main problem is that the fitness industry will continue to do this. It will. And we are staking a claim, right? This is day one. Stop. And we have to be
Mhm.
very careful with that because it does. So many people fall prey to it, right? So many people do that. And we have to gently, right? Gently ease these people's minds because they'll get so angry. You know, the people that are easily influenced by these
Mhm.
billboards and ads, they'll get angry. They'll say, no, 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 like I've been sold this my whole life, blah, 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 because I've had those
Mhm.
conversations. So that's why I
Yeah.
tell you, listener, get rid of your social media. Be like me. I don't have a Facebook. I don't have an Instagram.
Mhm.
Stop comparing yourself to others.
Yeah, 100% because it's not real. It is not real. Even if it's not edited in AI, they're posing in the most flattering angles. They're using the most flattering lighting. They're wearing the clothes that suck in their tummy or whatever it may be to portray this perfect image that is not reality. So comparing yourself to others, it's just really not going to be helpful in any way. Um, I do want to talk a little bit about, let's say that person does lose the weight because they are so convinced they're going to be happier when they lose the weight. They're going to get the boyfriend or their girlfriend when they lose the weight. They're going to, get that promotion when they lose the weight. They're convinced this is the problem. And again, I don't want to invalidate that because it feels real because it is real. There is a bias against people in bigger bodies. But the thing you're not seeing is that the person who loses the weight, and it depends. There's a spectrum here because if you have a lot of weight on your body and you lose some weight and you don't feel restricted and you feel like the program is sustainable, maybe you are happier. I don't want to say that that's not valid. But for the people who they're just always trying to lose that last 10 pounds, if I could just lose that 15 pounds, oh, it'd be so much better. But what you have to do to get there is sacrifice. You have to eat in a very specific way. You have to exercise in a very specific way. You have to say no to friends who want to go out to eat and celebrate and get a drink. You have to, sleep, go to bed at 9 p.m. every night and wake up at, it's a lifestyle of rigidity to have that perfect body. And while you may like the way you look, you're unlikely to feel happy and fulfilled having to sustain that level of rigidity to keep that body that looks just so.
So what's the cure, you think?
The cure is accepting that you're not going to look that way.
Expectation.
But you may never look that way. And you can grieve that, because while I have always been in a very socially acceptable body, I have struggled deeply with body image, hating the way my body looked, never feeling like it was good enough.
D, you got a great bod, man. You can do it. You're
Thank you,
strong.
Joey.
You're jacked. You
Thank
beat me
you.
in the pull-up challenge. Well, your team did. I think I crushed you in the
You
individual,
did.
but
I
you
think you
you
did.
you 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 won.
Yeah. But, and I feel great about my body now. But here's the crazy thing: my body doesn't look that much different than it ever did, because it was my mindset about it. I was always striving for this thing that felt so unachievable. My whole life revolved around my diet, my fitness, myself. I had no room for anything else. It was detrimental. I was not happy. And I kept convincing myself, when I get there, when my body changes, when it finally happens, I'll be fine. I won't have to do this anymore. But that day never comes. And when I finally realized, oh my God, I'm chasing this thing that is not possible, I had to grieve that. I had to come to a deep acceptance of it's not possible. And that sucks. And I really had to grieve that thing. But where I got to, and again, it's easier for me because my body is socially acceptable. I know that a lot of people have a harder time with this, but where I got to mentally, regardless of the way my body looked, was happiness, freedom, true actual control over my eating, because I could listen to my body. I wasn't restricted to this external thing telling me how to eat and move and be. It was from within. And I hope for everyone, because you can, in any body you're in, you can get to peace with it. But it is a choice. And it's unfair that the world around us is not supporting that choice. But it is a choice, and there are some real steps that can be taken.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I want to add to this, and thank you for sharing all what you just did. I want to say it's the same thing as trying to get rich, right? Like, you're chasing this money thing. Like, if I can only make that much money, I am going to be so much happier. I want to be like Bill Gates. I want to be like Elon. Not going to happen. Like, the expectation, right? Same thing with the physical thing. And this kind of goes back to more faith-based stuff. Is anything in life that's immaterial, right? That you can touch, or like that I can have the bigger truck, or I can have the perfect body, I can have the most amount of money. All that's going to go away. Like, I don't want to get too spiritual here, but chase something that matters, right? Your relationships in life, most importantly. That is how you treat others, right? Your service to others is the rent we pay on here on earth, Muhammad Ali once said. So anything immaterial, money, body, fame, honor, those all things will go by the wayside. Chase something, sit down with yourself, chase something that really makes you happy. That's important outside of the external.
Yeah, I love that analogy. If anyone out there listens to Armchair Expert, it's like one of my favorite podcasts. Dak Shepard, the host of the podcast, talks all the time about his money insecurity and how he was convinced once he's rich and famous, he won't have these insecurities and he'll be happy. He won't have any problems anymore. He became rich and famous and he went, oh my God, that did not make me happy. I am still me. I still have these same problems. I still have these demons I have to face. It was never about that external thing. And it's the same with body image, with the appearance of your body. You can convince yourself that once you have that body, you will be happy. But the truth is, you're still going to have demons to face because it's an internal game. So we need to work on facing those demons.
That going back, it's all of going back to the solution. It's how you internalize things. It's how you compare yourself with things. And it starts with you, right? It starts with a person of how they take these things, process them, and input them and output them, right? Because we're so susceptible, especially to social media. We're so influenced by it. That's why I had to get rid of it. Golly. And we have to change the narrative for ourselves. You got to start with yourself. You have to come to terms, just like you had that conversation with yourself, Darian,
Mm-hmm.
that it's unattainable. Like you have to grieve with it, right? But that grief, there's going to be a positive outcome on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to be happier because you're not going to chase this thing that'll never be possible, right? So the
Yeah.
expectation you need to set first and foremost, make sure you're with a trainer that understands that. Make sure you don't fall prey to those quick fix 6 weeks to shredded abs. Make sure you don't fall prey to those cool ads. You can get like the bodybuilders or whatever. Do your homework and come to terms with yourself first.
Yeah, I think like that is a great segue to give some actionable tips here about, how you're feeling about your body, how you can start to do the work to feel better about your body, and how to know how to find the right people to support you. So, everyone here knows I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate of intuitive eating, and they have a whole chapter about body image and things you can start to do to improve your body image. So definitely read the book Intuitive Eating if you're interested in learning more about it. But some of the things you can start with, and that they say in that book, is body respect. You can feel negatively about your body,
What's the
and
book, Darian?
it's called Intuitive Eating
Bye.
by Evelyn Tribole, and I'm going to forget the other author's name now, but it's two authors. And I think the most current edition is the fourth edition. They have lots of workbooks too, so people can find all of that by just doing a quick search. Um, but body respect is something that they talk about a lot, which is the fact that you can feel bad about your body. You don't have to feel good about your body or even accept your body to still choose to respect your body. And the ways that we do that are doing movement that makes us feel good, whether that's a walk, whether that's lifting weights, not doing it obsessively for an outcome of a body image, but moving our bodies to feel better. It's by hydrating. It's by listening to your body's cues and eating foods that not only nourish you, but also are very satisfying to you, that make you happy. It's having balanced meals. It's wearing clothing that fits properly, not trying to shove yourself into a size you don't fit in because you're hoping to get back to that size. Like, it's not buying aspirational jeans, it's buying jeans that fit your body and make you feel comfortable. It's having relationships, it's getting enough sleep, it's all those other things that we do for ourselves to make us feel good, ways we care for ourselves. You can do all of those things and still not like the way your body looks. But that is the first step you can take to overcoming, being limited by feeling so bad about your body. Another step you can take is a simple mindset shift, which is when you have a negative body image thought, try to make that thought just an observation, judgment free. So, for example, let's say I look in the mirror and I'm like, ugh, my thighs, I hate them. They're so gross and I hate the way they jiggle, and whatever negative thing you're telling yourself about how horrible they are. And then I'm going to go, wait, that's a negative thought. I am noticing my thighs. No judgments about good, bad, just I'm noticing my thighs. It's an observation. You can stop there. If it feels like too big of a leap to take the positive step, you can just stop there. But you could also change that observation now into a positive. My legs are strong and they allow me to do my work. They allow me to chase my kids around the yard, or whatever positive thing you can think. I'm so lucky to have these legs that allow me to walk. That's not something everybody has. You can change it to something that you're grateful for if you're ready, but you don't have to be ready. So those are 2 tips that you can do to start internally changing your body image.
I got two
Yeah.
actual steps. Just going off the top, what you were saying is be performance oriented. Be performance oriented. This is easy for me to say coming from strength and conditioning, of course, but worry about how much weight you're lifting. Worry about how you're sleeping at night. Worry about how your mile time you're walking. I keep using a mile, but how you can walk to the mailbox out and back better. How much groceries you can carry in the more efficient trip. Be performance oriented. That's why we love athletes, right? Because they don't care necessarily about body image. They are there to win the gold medal, right? So be performance oriented. Don't be aesthetic obsessed. That's just going down a black hole. And my second one is be grateful. And kind of going off what you just said there, sit down with yourself, write what you're grateful for each and every single day, because someone out there has it way, way worse than you do. And shifting that mindset of having an attitude of gratitude, that'll make you appreciate your body, your image much, much more.
Yeah, I think those are great. And I think in terms of how to find the support, like we said, if something is before and after, if it's saying get ripped in 60 days, whatever the tagline may be, if it seems too good to be true, because let's be real, if it was possible, everyone would be walking around shredded. If it seems too good to be true, it is. If it seems like something's fishy, it is fishy. Run away from that. Look for marketing. If you're looking for a new gym or an online app, look for marketing that shows diverse bodies. Look for marketing that is positive and uplifting about you feeling better, being healthier, building strength, not talking about weight loss. If there is like a lot of outward talk about weight loss, maybe that's not for you. Steer clear of that. Look for something that's more positive focused. Just notice what they're trying to show you. If a company has to prey on your insecurities to get you in the door and buy their product, I'm guessing their product's not good enough to stand on its own. And if you're the company making those ads, ask yourself, why can't I sell this without the before and after pictures, without the predatory language? If it's really as good as I say it is, I should be able to easily sell it based on its merit.
Darian, this is not a conversation that is only going to be a one and done. We are going to be back to talk about so many things. I want to start talking about the whole GLP-1 stuff and how that's going to change the game and how it is. But like you said, is everybody going to be walking around with the same body type? So let's continue that conversation down another road. What do you say?
I say that we should definitely circle back to this because there's way more to unpack. Thank you, Joey, for having this conversation with me. I had a great time, and I hope our listeners enjoyed the conversation, learned something new, and at very least started to question some of their current thinking about body image and the fitness industry. And if you're looking for a company and a personal trainer that truly wants to support you and meet you where you're at, Trainwell is that company. We are the down-to-earth trainers. We are the trainers that truly just want to help you feel better no matter where you're starting. So check our show notes, click the link, get signed up for a free trial, 14 days free, and you get matched with your very own personal trainer.
As always, we love you so much. Live your life, guys. Put something positive back in the world. Love your body. Change the game one life at a time. Adios.